It's a national holiday in the People's Republic of China, and young Beijingers are banging their heads together. This is anarchy in the PRC. There are few police and almost no security, just lots of alcohol, drugs and hardcore rock. Xiao Rong is lead singer of the cult band Brain Failure. He wasn't born when punk bands started doing this in the West. But this is not a revival, it's the first time round. Back in the 70s, this would have been outlawed as counter-revolutionary. Xiao Rong didn't even hear this kind of music until 8 years ago.
我79年生的，然后我96年、97年正好16、17岁，啊，我正好听到这种音乐，我非常喜欢。很有认识一些外国朋友，然后带过来的音乐，就这么听，这么着就接触了西方音乐。
These days, China is being flooded with once banned music. Economic reform has let in tens of millions of pirate CDs. Hardcore fans are picking up on new trends as fast as anyone in the West. But it would be wrong to think of this new youth scene as a challenge to the communist elders. But the new music scene in China is based much more on fashion than rebellion. There's really nothing being sung here that's going to upset any communist senses. Bands have learned they won't go far if they want to sing about politics. And that, as much as anything, is why this kind of music is now officially allowed. Xiao Rong admits he never sings about unemployment or party corruption. But he says that's not what today's youth cares about.
70年代在中国和在西方都有一些那个国家体制啊，国家就是都有很严重的这个，就每个国家的体制都有很严重的政治的缺陷啊。然后但是现在呢，就是我觉得每个国家也有，就这个都有政治的问题，但是现在社会在进步，人类也在进步着。
In the 60s and 70s, the youth scene was all about politics. While Western hippies were discovering rock idols, young Chinese had just one idol, Chairman Mao. His cultural revolution sent them on a decade-long rampage to smash bourgeois culture. It wasn't until the early 80s that rock started slipping through the cracks of China's opening economy. Back then, Sui Zhen was a young musician with the Beijing Symphony Orchestra.
My personal, experience is different from the other Chinese young people, maybe because I used to be a classical trumpet player, so I got a lot of chance to listen to Western music.
Throughout the 80s, he pioneered rock concerts in China, even performing to protesting students in Tiananmen Square. But the violent crackdown on the protests put a chill on large gatherings of youth. Even today, Sui Zhen still has trouble getting approval for big concerts in Beijing.
But in Beijing, that's pretty hard. No one can say, no, it's not allowed. No one can say that. That's why a lot of people are still trying to do that. So, this is China. This is something between possible or impossible.
In 2002, Sui Zhen showed how far things have come, winning approval to stage China's first ever outdoor rock festival. It was billed as China's Woodstock, 33 years after the original one in America. Held on a wet weekend in the southern province of Yunnan, it brought together the cream of China's new music scene.
I think a lot of Chinese people, they have no experience, they have no ideas about what is the festival. Maybe they know the rock music, maybe they know it is, they have been to the rock concert, but it's different from the festival. The festival is really, it's more fact, more heavy. And if you spend 2 days, that's different from a concert. I think from today, I think a lot of Chinese people will realize this is the life.
But the festival also showed the authorities' continuing nervousness with this sort of music. 500 soldiers from the People's Liberation Army were brought in as the front line of security. As the local Vice Mayor Zhang Hongping explained, you can't be too careful with rock.
因为他毕竟都是年轻人，而且这种摇滚音乐具有应该说非常强烈的刺激性。年轻人碰到这种刺激性非常强的音乐，常常会失去理智。
Just to be on the safe side, every song had to be approved in advance by the communist censors, though Zhao Rong managed to slip in some unauthorised lyrics. It may have helped that he was singing them in English. While the state now allows this kind of music, it doesn't encourage it. Television and radio, all state-controlled, prefer to broadcast easy listening and syrupy pop. It's still going to be a long way to the top. Bands like Brain Failure can't make any money out of CDs. They're pirated as soon as they're released. Instead, they rely on performing live in clubs and at small outdoor concerts, ever reliant on permission from communist officials. But for all the restrictions, some believe China's alternative music is actually more innovative than the West's. Among them, Sui Zhen's American manager, veteran rock promoter Paul Fry.
There's an exciting thing happening here now where the self-expression is happening, where you're having bands that are writing their own material. They're doing it themselves like the early groups in the West did.
Back at Woodstock, we saw a hint of that innovation. A fusion of Western and local culture, at once global and Chinese. By the second night, even the police seemed to be enjoying themselves, watching emerging bands like the Tibetan-influenced Dadawa. The PLA conscripts crept out of their trucks to sneak a look at the show, and nobody seemed bothered by the rain. Well, it may have rained almost non-stop, but everybody here has had a pretty amazing time. Probably even the People's Liberation Army. In the end, it wasn't quite Woodstock, but I suspect this is going to pass into Chinese music legend. The finale was the legend himself, Sui Zhen.
If you really have feeling to explain, you definitely can find a chance. You know, the music is the one, and the music is the best one, the beautiful one, most beautiful one. So music, and more than you want, and more than you can explain, a lot of things in the music.
Even in the last great communist state, the times are a-changing.